Diamond White awaiting the winner of this one.
Well, certainly, Mike, I think that if Dean Winstanley plays anywhere near his potential, then he should win the game. But he does have these spells where he tends to go, perhaps not to sleep, but certainly plays indifferent and gets punished for it. Not long been married, Dean, so are newlywed. If he could get the form back that he did in those first Grand Slams when he first come over to the PDC, then certainly he would start to move back up those rankings. Well, certainly Padgett, you talked about the Phil Taylor throw. Yep, that's pretty good.
I don't know anyone else on the pro circuit who has come out and intentionally modelled themselves on Phil Taylor. I mean, why not? He's won everything there is to win and broken all the records. Maybe it's a surprise that more players coming through haven't done it.
Well, I know there's been a lot of players that have tried to make the dart lay in the board like Phil Taylor. I mean, we mentioned the previous game with Mark Durbridge. I think that's where Mark went wrong. Raymond van Barneveld tried it as well, and I think that's where Raymond went wrong. When you've got that natural ability that makes you win tournaments, especially with Barneveld, why change it? Improve what you've got a little bit, and then you're still going to win lots more. But certainly fair play to Matt. And like you say, if you're going to model yourself on someone, model yourself on the best. Well, Dean Winstanley looks like he's going to get down to the double first in this first leg. 8th match of 16 here in the first day's play at the German Championships. And Dean Winstanley sets it up absolutely perfect.
So double top for over the top. Double 10 now for an early lead in this first round match. First to 6 legs, remember, as they are right the way through the competition in these European Tour events.
I wonder what Matt will do if Phil changes his darts at any time. Will Matt change his darts also?
Phil has changed his flights and cut the shape of his flights in the past, hasn't he?
Well, the biggest change from Phil Taylor was from a straight barrel dart to this shape of dart, which I couldn't believe he'd done. But, he's proven that the change was the right one.
Because it's quite an old school looking bulbous barrel, isn't it?
125.
Winstanley there looking for his first ton 80 of the match.
80.
Well, Winstanley threw second in this leg, but he's got the throw back, so a lot of work to do for Padgett. Well, that will certainly help him, but Winstanley probably going to get 6 darts from 176, and that is a great start. Beautiful setup from Winstanley now, puts the pressure on this 145 of Padgett's, And he's not going to take it out, so Winstanley comes back. And we talk about the double 18 that everybody likes, Mike, and the double 9. Be interesting, you know, if he comes inside, what's going to happen with his double 9? Needs to pin it first start, hit it and move on. That's exactly what he's done.
Yes, a textbook checkout of the double 18 to break the throw and go 2-0 up for Winstanley.
I remember Peter Wright telling me that we was talking, I think it was in Eindhoven last year, and I said, you know, the Phil Taylor dart, I don't know anybody else that throws them, and Peter Wright actually said to me, I can throw them, I do it in practice all the time. So I said, well, if you're doing that, why don't you play with them? And he said, I'm going to. And I actually thought he was joking. And then he turns up, starts playing with them and makes the World Championship finals. So fair play to Peter Wright, made a change for the better.
124.
Yes, capping off a fantastic year, Peter Wright, with that run to the World Championship finals. And well deserved of his place in the Premier League starting this week.
I actually had him in for a massive shout before the World Championships. You know, he was the most improved player for me of the whole year.
And picked up that accolade at the PDC Awards didn't he, at the Dorchester?
Well, I think he's done it right. You know, you've got to be a character. You've got to get the crowd on your side. And people, you know, complained, oh, the Larry clothes he's wearing. Well, hang on a minute. We've had loads of characters in the game, and everybody's different. So what's the difference between someone who goes up there and mouths it off, or has a great walk on, or whatever they do? You do it because it's a job, and you have to earn money at it. And Peter Wright's doing a very good job at that.
60.
So a ton 40 finish for Winstanley to go 3-0 ahead, and Matt Padgett, you would sense, really does need to get a leg on the board soon if he's to overcome an experienced campaigner like Dean Winstanley. Padgett on a bogey number 163, so Winstanley does have a bit of time here. My apologies. 42, double 16 then for Padgett.
Against the throw. So he is back in this game.
So that's good for Padgett to get a leg on the board.
Well, this is where Winstanley's got to be careful. Letting Padgett back in the game. You know, a 2-0 lead. And then you've got the throw. You want to really get into that 3-0. You've got control of the game. And then you start to let legs drift, and then it turns into another leg, and before you know it, you're the one that's under pressure.
Matt worked in a bowling alley before taking up his career in darts full time. Whether you can see any similarities between knocking out the 10 pins on a 10-pin bowling alley to hitting 3 treble 20s on the dartboard or not.
Well, I wouldn't suggest that he goes back to 10-pin bowling too much, you know, with the left arm. That'll tighten it right up.
78.
And plenty of members of the crowd entering into the spirit of things that we are accustomed to now with the fancy dress outfits at the darts.
Well, Winstanley's done exactly what he needed to do. And the last leg he lost against the throw, and he's bounced straight back. And after 12 darts, only requires 46. Could have been so easy to all of a sudden 2 legs all, and then you're starting to think about the game instead of just going forward on it. So, what way will he go? 6 for double top. A good 14 dart leg from Dean Winstanley. Takes a 3-1 lead.
Yes, restoring that 2-leg advantage. As you say, a few nerves may start to have crept in for Winstanley had Padgett got back to 2 apiece.
Well, a chance in this leg for Winstanley to really get command of the game. Hold his throw. And that's the way you do it. 2 real good visits from Winstanley. 4 trebles in 6 darts.
And of course, you mentioned Dean getting married recently. He's married a fine darts player on the women's circuit in Lorraine Farlam. So it must be handy having a decent practice player at home to
I don't know if it is.
take on. Or do you think it might cause too many arguments?
Well, as we say in that, Padgett hits in a maximum. Well, if you start to beat her, she could have a moan at you. And if she beats you, what are you going to do then? I'd stay away from that personally, but...
22.
So 10 for double top for a 4-1 lead for Winstanley. And yes, he's certainly getting the job done this afternoon, is Dean Winstanley. Padgett, despite hitting a ton 80, finds himself 4-1 down now.
Yes, a pretty tidy game from Dean Winstanley here. And the first rounds, as anybody will tell you, you know, a win's a win, just get over them. You know, you don't worry about averages too much. But it does help if you put in a good performance, and certainly Winstanley have passed, has missed a few doubles, but he certainly hasn't today. And his scoring power has been up there as well. There we have the average of 98.62, a real good average. Admittedly, Padgett's not pushing him, but you've still got to stay focused and throw that average. So if you showed that to Winstanley at the moment, he would be more than happy.
Well, Winstanley hit a 9-darter at the World Championships 2 years ago. Not to be this time, though, with a 26.
I think the bookies give great odds that he was going to lose the next leg because he run around the car park in 3 times. Well, he ran the length of the stage a couple of times, which is 60 metres. And look at that percentage on doubles. Well, we may have criticised Dean Winstanley in the past over his missing of doubles. Obviously only when he misses them, but that is excellent throwing from Winstanley. A real tidy game, 80%.
Padgett down to a finish then, but Winstanley will look to make a big dent in that 214, which he does do.
Well, it wouldn't be a bad wedding present to his wife Lorraine if he went and won this. A nice little 20,000. Get a nice little honeymoon on that, I think. Perhaps Lorraine at home is already looking at the brochures.
Yes, £20,000 the winner will pick up on Sunday night. Could it be Dim Winstanley? He wanted double top. So it's now Padgett's turn to try and knock off 56. Double top. Great marker. Can he slide the third dart underneath Taylor Stiley? No, he cannot. So double 10 for Winstanley to go to within one leg of victory. That was a mile away. Now it's double 5.
A sign of confidence in Dean Winstanley. The first dart was a taxi ride away from the double 10 and hit the double 5 with his third dart. So now he steps up to throw for the match. And I have to have a little mention for our prompter back home, Dave Allen, who sent us through all little texts with things about the players that perhaps we don't know about. And him shortly to be a father.
Yes. Normally travels with us and he is the font of all knowledge. But he is keeping in touch on text and email with little snippets of information, thankfully, to try and make me sound like I do know what I'm talking about sometimes.
Well, no, I don't know anything, but you're fooling them at the moment, Mike.
We will hopefully get some Twitter action going over the weekend for you. Always like your tweets, your thoughts on these tournaments, but just need to put some more coal in our Wi-Fi machine here at the moment to get that going, but we will let you know.
Yes, and any questions that you'd like answered? Obviously sensible ones, people. Well, a chance here for Winstanley to just set it up and then close it out and get off the stage. He'll be quite pleased with this performance. Well, I would imagine very pleased with this performance.
Yes, a good day's work, and Ian Diamond White will face the winner tomorrow in round 2. And it's another all-English clash next. Mark Walsh against Lee Polframan on the stage here.
Yes, an old campaigner, Mark Walsh, against Lee Polframan, one of the two brothers in the tournament, Lee and Joey. So Winstanley leaves the double top, but Padgett another one of those, and double 19 keeps him in the game. Not to be for Matt Padgett. 3 clear darts for Winstanley to go forward to meet Ian White.
Double 5 now. Well, that yet again the finishing line in sight for a player. Can feel like a long, long way away. Double top for Padgett. Again, it's a good marker.
He has been unlucky on them double tops, I have to say. The previous leg, the first dart at it was so close. But he lets Winstanley back to the board, and this time Winstanley takes it out. A good performance from Winstanley. He'll be happy with that. I know his wife Lorraine will be. Next up, Mark Walsh takes on Lee Polframan. We'll be right back.
In 102.